I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
So, hi everybody, and welcome to the Coach TGS channel. Happy Women's Month. Yes, March, the whole March, we're celebrating women power. And I'm so excited because I've dedicated this channel for the entire month to talk to women who are very successful in their respective fields. So, does that mean my male subscribers, this is not for you? No, it's also for you. And I need you to share it to your loved ones, your spouse, your sister, your mom, your beshi, whoever, because you're going to learn a lot about women and things that, go into this mind of ours. What are the things that are uso ba with women today? And for this particular video, I am so honored to have two beautiful ladies with me who will talk about the mysterious world of consultancy. You know, you've always met somebody who would say, "What do you do?" And they would say, "Oh, I'm a consultant." Ano ba yung consultant na yan? So I have two women with me who will maybe debunk some myths about consultancy and give you and share to you their knowledge and experience so that if consultancy is something that you can do in the future, then let these ladies guide you along your path. So today we are joined by, as I've said, two John Maxwell speakers, coaches, trainers, and I will begin by introducing the first one, my first guest. She is a former broadcast journalist. She was a newscaster and public service program host for PTV4, IBC 13, and Radio Veritas. She also carved out a career in public relations and became vice president for corporate communications and corporate affairs of two multinational organizations. She finished BA Communication cum laude, take note, from the University of the Philippines. Friends, please welcome Gina De La Vega Cruz.
Thank you, Zarina. And I just would like to say hi not only to you, but to all your viewers and your subscribers. Thank you for joining us. It's an honor also of mine to be your guest today.
Thank you, Gina. And now I'm going to introduce my second guest. This lady's work experience in the pharmaceutical and healthcare industry spans 3 decades, as she held various positions in sales, training, marketing, and field operations. Throughout her 30-year career, she exemplified remarkable adeptness, sheer determination, and unwavering commitment to rise up from the ranks, consistently excelled, and made an indelible mark in a male dominated corporate environment. Today, she is connected with Cord Life Philippines. It is the first and only cord blood processing and cryopreservation facility in the Philippines that is DOH registered, ISO certified, and AABB accredited. Friends, please welcome Suzanne Concepcion Salindong.
Hi, everybody. Morning, Charina. It's a pleasure to be here also, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much, Suzanne. Now, I am so excited, ladies, because I feel women power is going to be unleashed with this collaboration this morning. So I want to talk about, as I have said in my introduction, about consultancy. Both of you are currently consultants in your respective organizations. Can you tell me, Suzanne, what is or how is it being a consultant in Cord Life Philippines? What exactly do you do ba?
In my case, I assist the CEO of Cord Life Philippines in identifying and opening growth opportunities to grow the business in the Philippines, no? And that is through institutional partnerships and strategic channel marketing projects. I also assist the CEO in identifying and opening new venues to stimulate the ecosystem for cord stem cell banking and genetic screening. And of course, one of my also main responsibilities is to assist in maintaining and nurturing business relationships with five top hospitals and medical associations and societies. Now, as far as the sales team is concerned, I work closely with the national sales manager for the building, training, and mentoring of the account management staff. So essentially, that's it.
Wow. Suzanne, parang everything, no? From operations to sales to top management. So ganun ba? I mean, is that how, well, at least in your line, yung consultancy mo, is this like a full-time work, part-time work? Do they just, hello, Suzanne, I need some help. I need a new hospital to partner with. Ganun ba? Or is it full-time, Suzanne?
It's actually full time, if you were to ask me, no. And the reason why it's like this is because I came from within when I was a full
Mm,
time employee of Cord Life, and then somewhere along the line, I just wanted to be a consultant so that I could do other things. But in the end, it turned out that the other things is also Cord
Cord
Life,
life.
Cord Life also.
Okay,
So
so
that's
you
it.
you came from the organization na.
Yes, yes,
Tapos
yes,
tapos naging consultant.
yes.
Ah,
That's right.
okay. What about you, Gina? Ano naman yung history mo? How did you get into consultancy and what are your projects right now?
Okay, first of all, I'm Zarina. I'm fairly new to consultancy. It's about only 3 years now. I've had 20 years plus of experience in corporate communications and corporate affairs. And then you will reach a point in your career and in your life, and you will think, that I've done everything already. I've done this, I've done that. I've nothing to prove anymore. And you look for your next stage. And the next stage, really, for me, is to tap on that expertise of mine in corporate communications. And so I decided that I will get out of the employment sector. I mean, not getting employed anymore, but be hired as a consultant because I would love for myself to own my time and to really just even accept clients that you like and that you really
Okay.
identify with
Ikaw na
also.
nagpipili, ikaw na
Yes,
pumipili. You choose now the clients that you
because
give
you will pitch yourself, right? You will pitch
Ah,
yourself and offer your services to them. Then, in a way, you're choosing who you want to serve. And
right.
then as a consultant now, my primary role really is because my expertise is in communications, I am a communications consultant. So that means I am primarily the advisor or a counselor of the company or its executives when it comes to all their communication needs. And now my
Mm,
tasks run the whole gamut from writing speeches to practicing executives to crafting their
mm.
communications plan for their review and approval, to guiding them when they meet with third party suppliers, whether this is the kind of communication campaign that is suited for them. And also, it can include, because they know I am a speaker, also, I'm a professional speaker and trainer, they also sometimes get me to train their staff, their employees, their
Okay.
executives. So it's a very exciting job. And the good thing about it is I own my time. Although the difference is that you have to get used to your time not being structured. And
Ah,
it
so
requires
medyo
discipline. I'm
different
sure
yun, no?
Suzanne would know that.
Yeah. So Gina, very different, no? So Suzanne, full-time, and then Gina, ikaw naman, you own your time. So actually pala, pwedeng either you do it full-time with one client and then or you do multiple clients.
That's
Pwedeng
true.
ganun. Ah, okay. So Gina, saan ka nagko-consult ngayon? If it's all right to mention it.
Yes, I'm proud. I'm proud. I'm helping the Bureau of Customs now. I worked with them as an informal advisor, part of their multi-sectoral governing council for a year. And then
Mm,
last October rather, I started to formally work for them as a communications consultant. Very recently also, I was a consultant for the Office of the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, but he retired already. And for 3 years, I was with the Office of the Senate President, Senator Tito Soto. The challenge, though, in consultancy is unlike your permanent employment or even casual employment, you have to have clients in your pipeline because you don't know when these contracts will end for one reason or another. Like for example, with Senator Soto, I was with him for 3 years, but all of a sudden when COVID happened, there were no events that he needed to attend to, which means there were
Mm,
no speeches.
yeah.
And I had no job to do. And so that's the reason they had to let go of me for the meantime, with the
Yeah.
understanding, of course, that once things normalize, I will be taken on board again. So that's the challenge of being a consultant, but it's very rewarding because you get to interact with different organizations, not just one. You're not limited to just one. And so you encounter different problems and you are able to tap, as I said, from on your expertise to help them solve these problems. And it's very rewarding in that way.
Well, thank you for that, Gina. So, government ka naman, ano? Bureau of Customs, AFP. Paano ka naman napasok sa AFP? You are a very, I've known you for a long time. You're very feminine. You're very, very ladylike. Bakit napasok ka naman sa military? How do you get clients ba, Gina? Kasi parang medyo nasa government side ka. Para alam nung those who are watching us, is it difficult to get clients? Is it easy to get clients?
Okay. First of all, this is a perfect opportunity to destroy that stereotype that we have that just because we are ladies and we're feminine and we're, let's say, meek and soft spoken, perhaps we cannot penetrate the very male organizations or the very masculine organizations like the military. What happened with me was that I really just go out there and pitch myself.
Mhm.
It started from my speaking. I said, I am an expert in crisis communications. Would you have a need for a crisis communications lecture? And then I fortunately was able to get in and was able to handle 3 classes of officers, reaching 200 at a time in one auditorium. And from that, of course, you get connections. And when you have connections already, you know these students, they are the ones rising in the military. And because they're the ones rising, they're becoming colonels now. Of course, they recommend me to their bosses, like the AFP chief of staff. And so that's really how it is with all of us. I think we need to be proactive and take the bull by the horns. If the clients will not approach us, then let's approach them. And let's just tell them how good we are and let them see ourselves and let us show ourselves to them. And once they've tasted that, they've had a taste of how good you are, your competence, then they will try to contact you again and ask more for your services. That's what happened to me. And just to again correct also, no, I'm not limited to government clients alone. I've also had several private clients, although my engagements with them were more of short-term, one-time engagement, like I conduct coaching for their
Mhm.
executives or
Mhm.
conduct training for their
Right.
senior management. Yes, but
Right.
I'm open. Just announcing, I'm open to both government and private sectors.
So it's really marketing ourselves, no?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, Suzanne, in your case, you're very loyal to the organization that you have served for so long. How did you come to decide that it's time to just, to I guess, I don't know, you correct me if I'm wrong. Are you taking a step back as a consultant and not really being the one in charge of whatever you were handling before?
There came a time when I wanted to explore the outside world. Honestly, I wanted to spread my wings and fly, get out of the nest, so to speak. But then I requested to be a consultant with that in mind, with that objective in mind. But somewhere along the line, it didn't turn out that way. There was a sudden twist of fate. What happened was, instead, I enrolled in the John Maxwell, the
Mhm.
accreditation program of John Maxwell. And then from there, I said maybe this would be time for me to, to go out there in the world. But then again, something prevailed on me, and I said, if I will do this outside, I might as well share this knowledge and expertise with the company that I've stayed with for how many years? 10 years, no? Almost 10 years. So I said, I'll start it here. And to be honest, I find fulfillment in what I'm doing. Firstly, because we started Cord Life in the Philippines, and it was doing well. And it's now the leading cord blood bank in the Philippines, no? And even in in Asia, no? So I said, might as well stay put here, and dito na ako tatanda. just stay here, di ba? And it's different when you also have uh, I have built emotional bank accounts with the people inside.
Nice.
That's
Yes,
very
yes.
important, very important. And another thing here is uh, our CEO and the other heads of the department. They're very good people. Very, I really salute them. They have very extensive experience also in the pharmaceutical
Mhm,
industry,
mhm.
and it's something they have my full trust and my respect. So that's why I said, if you have that and you have this already, a bond that you've established with them, why will you still go outside to earn more? That's not really, at the end of the day, that's not the be all and the end all. No, in life, you just have to pay forward. Do something
Ah,
also for others to help them. Yes, I said, always build others, inspire them so they can become better persons. So
ah.
that's it.
Okay. So iba naman ano yung perspective mo no when it comes to that consultancy. So now we're learning. Now consultancy pala you can stay with your organization and go to the consultancy stage, and you have you have Gina here who it's a business, no? It is the that's where your income stream comes from, no? So different, no? So we're learning that. Ito ngayon, ladies, pwede bang everybody will become a consultant? I mean, is there an age? Pwede bang, kasi as you have mentioned, Suzanne, you've been 10 years in Cord Life, and you have, apart from the 10 years in Cord Life, 30 years na experience mo, all in
Yes,
all.
yes,
So,
yes.
kailangan ba may certain age bago uh, people can call themselves a consultant? Kailangan ba may experience to back it up? What are the qualifications? Suzanne, natingin mo, dapat meron yung isang tao bago ka mag-attempt maging consultant.
Well, first of all, is you have to have the experience. That's very important, and the expertise. I think age is not really that important. I mean, if you can have this at an earlier age, why not? I know somebody who was a consultant who's only about 35 years old, no? But
Wow,
then I know
okay.
another person who's a consultant with the pharma industry, for the pharma company, who's a consultant at 75 years old.
Beyond retirement.
Yes,
Beyond
yes, beyond retirement.
retirement.
And she's doing a good job in running the business.
Okay.
Actually, she's designated as, for example, a COO of a particular company, but it started out as a consultant on a consultancy basis. So, I'm not saying age doesn't matter for as long as you have the experience and the expertise, and you can share this with people who need your services.
Okay. So I like that. Experience and expertise. Siyempre, kailangan magaling ka dun sa ginagawa mo kasi
Yes, yes,
you cannot give what you do not have,
yes,
right? You
right,
cannot share
right.
what you do not know.
Yes, right.
And experience is important because this is like kumbaga parang you are on the ground, on the battlefield eh. So
Yes,
that
yes,
the challenges that you have, meron ng meron ka na parang tried and tested solutions. Is it the same,
yes.
Gina, for you? Do you feel, because with you crisis communication at kasama diyan media, no, dealing with media, does age have any issue there? I mean, or experience then and expertise, just like Suzanne?
My view on that, Zarina, is just like Zuzane. The two elements of expertise and experience are really necessary. Now, you asked about age. In the Philippines, at least, in the market that we have here, I don't think you can have the experience and the expertise without going through those years, which also makes me think that it will have to be, at least for you to be credible in the market to become a consultant, you will have reached a certain age, at least 20 years, let's say, or even 15 years.
Of
It really
working,
depends on how
working,
good you are.
Gina. Of working, no? 20 years of working.
Yeah, of being
Okay.
in that field, of being in that field.
Mhm.
Because I don't think any company would respect you or would think that you can help them with their problems if you are just greenhorn. If you're just very new in the business or in corporate work and you really haven't warmed your seat, why
Mhm.
would they trust you? Then they would just get somebody else and train that person themselves in house. But for you to be
Mm.
a consultant in the Philippines, they will have to acknowledge the years behind you, that you have all this expertise gained from those years of experience. So while it is true in other markets, in foreign countries perhaps, very young people can work as consultants already. In the Philippines, it's quite different. You will have to have reached a certain age. And that's why I said you have to earn this consultancy position. You will have to earn that.
I agree with you, Gina. I mean, I am also a training consultant, just like we're speakers, we're trainers, and you can't train if you haven't really gone through that experience. No? Ang hirap magturo ng puro theory. Hindi kasi pwedeng theory, no? I think what consultants bring to the table is really the reality. No, binababa natin sa lupa yung mga clients natin. Look, this is the real thing that is happening. These are, let's say, clients' reactions, feedback to your company, stuff like that. No, kailangan may reality check. Now, Gina, you mentioned in the Philippines. I know. Are you are you filming this? Are you from Australia right now? Are you in Australia right now, rather? While we're doing this.
Yes, I am. I am. I've been caught here in Australia since the bushfires and then the pandemic. And here in Australia, my son, who is 22 years old, is already a consultant. And that,
Mm.
sorry, he's now 25. He has been in consultancy for a few years now also. He's now 25. And right from the start, he started as a consultant. He decided he wanted consultancy. But this is because he was part, or he is part of a huge consultancy firm, which means that is
Mm.
their business. They really just deploy people to for this certain expertise, deploy them to certain companies, and this is how they build naman their experience. Puro tutok doon, focus na focus. They're encountering problems and addressing them as they come along. The difference with us in the Philippines is that, like me, for instance, just because of my age and my maturity, I've gone through those things already that new corporate communications executives are just facing now. Something that may rattle them would not rattle me anymore, simply because I've been through that. I know what will
Yeah.
happen. I know what to
Right.
expect. That is
Right.
where our value comes from. We know what we will need to do. We can guide. We can advise
Mm-hmm.
because we have been there. We have done everything already. Modesty
That's
aside.
true. That's true. That's true. Nagko-compare ba kayo nung son mo? Anong difference ng consultancy sa Australia? Ano ba ang difference sa consultancy dito sa Pilipinas?
Oh, yes, I'm surprised. He doesn't even know his clients. I mean, the clients, because that is the difference nga, because he's part of a huge consultancy firm where this is the main business.
Business, yeah.
Or there are directors, for instance, who are way above him in terms of level, who are the ones dealing with the clients. In
Mm-mm.
my case, that cannot be because this is relationship based. It's the
Mm.
directors of my son who are taking care of the relationship. But in the Philippines, I am the one nurturing those relationships because without that relationship, it will not continue. It will stop at a certain point and you will have no more clients anymore. And that is why also it is important that you are able to network and just build on your relationship block after block after block. Because when you have proven yourself and given them value, then
Mm-hmm.
even if your contract with them ends, then they'd be more than willing to recommend you to their own contacts, and that's
That's
how
right.
that's how the pipeline grows, right?
Okay. Right. So yan yung ano natin, networking, building, no, relationships. We have to be able to nurture the relationship. It's not a one-time transaction.
That's
Forever
true.
yan, ano? May forever. Okay. So that should be
Otherwise,
all right. Go
Alina,
ahead.
you have been in training. It's like when an employee leaves you, right? It's more expensive because you need to train them
Again.
again,
Yes.
new employees.
Right.
Like in a consultant's life. If you have all these clients already, if you change them again and again, and you have to acquire new clients every single time, that also becomes more
Yeah.
difficult for you and more
Right.
expensive for you compared
Yes.
with those clients just getting additional services from you and
That's
recommending
right.
them from circle.
Yeah. Nag-grow lang yan ng kusa eh, no?
Yeah.
Ano, it just grows. Okay. Now, this is because it's Women's Month. I have to ask you this. Suzanne, may challenges ba being a female consultant? Like you are in a pharma industry. In
Mhm.
the stereotype, parang medyo male-dominated ang pharma. I may be wrong. Correct
Mhm.
me if I'm wrong, please. Is there a challenge for women as consultants? Pinapakinggan, in other words, I guess my question, my dear friends, is pinapakinggan ba tayo? I mean, is there such a thing as a female point of view which is our advantage?
Mm. Well, actually, before the pharmaceutical industry was male dominated during the, so many years back. But today, I guess women are given equal chances also to become, to reach high positions or even to become consultants. It would really differ. It would just really be a matter of I don't know. I cannot really generalize. No? I cannot
Mm-hmm.
generalize. Maybe there are good men
Mm-hmm.
who also turn out to be good consultants. I don't know, but for a fact, those people I know are just female consultants. Maybe because
Okay.
women are more grounded. Maybe they are more. How shall I say? They're good at. As Gina said, in the Philippines, it's a different setting where you have to have that that bond also, that certain good interaction skill. I'm not saying women are better than men no, I'm not saying
Oh, no,
that,
no,
but
this is not the battle of the
yes,
sexes.
yes. It's just maybe women are more patient, more
Mm.
tolerant, I don't know, and they're also good at multitasking. I don't know. No, that's just my opinion. Because as it turns out, based on what I know and whom I've met here in the Philippines, I think women turn out to be better. Their staying power as consultants is stronger than men because men would always like to stay, okay, be a consultant here, but they'd like to do other things. Maybe move on to other careers, other, I don't know what they want, but at least women are more stable. Okay, that's more stable also. So I guess in the end, will I answer your question? Men or women? It's up to them to decide. Mahirap na mag-comment, 'di ba? Pero yun lang, that's what I see only, no? That's what I feel and I have observed based on my connections.
Yes, yes. Okay naman because ang point naman nung the point of our discussion is just also trying to inspire women na kaya natin to, that we can
Yes.
do this, no?
Yes.
It's not a field na we have to be afraid of. No,
Yes.
we don't have to be afraid of. Gina, what's your opinion on that one?
Well, I'm very proud, and I think that in the Philippines, we women are able to reach our roles, our level, because of our competence, the competence that we have shown, and they value us for that. The companies that I'm working for, I can see it that they really value my advice because they recognize the expertise and the experience. However, I know that as a woman also, and I can see it in the dynamics of the discussions and the conversations on the table, I am able to put more emotion. I don't think this should be taken in a bad light, but just
Okay.
because we are more emotional, I'm able to focus on the soft skills that are needed
Mm.
to be put forward in any discussion. Like for example, when all the men there are so logical and not thinking about what the effects of this kind of communication will be on their employees, and I'm there to call out their attention and just make them see the softer side of people, which doesn't always surface when they are at work, but will always be there and will be the ones, the things that you need to tap if you want them to get engaged and if you want them to really support you and act on to move forward the goals of the organization. And so we have this, like for example, in the companies that I am working for now, I am proud to say I am sometimes even just the lone woman, the lone female in
Mm.
the board of advisors. And they do listen to me and they recognize me simply because perhaps my viewpoint is so different from all of them. They're all thinking
Ah,
the same way. And that is the good that we provide. We
a
provide
different
diversity.
perspective.
Yes, a different
Ah.
perspective simply because we look at it from a totally different lens. And I think they are sometimes caught by surprise also. Oh, wow, I didn't think of that. It's good that
Mm.
she brought it to the table or she brought it
Right.
forward.
So Zane, do you find yourself needing to assert more because you are a woman? So that's the that's the line. Do you feel you have to assert kasi hindi ka papakinggan kasi babae ka, ganyan.
No naman, I don't think, well, I can only speak for my company now, no, for the
Mm.
company that I'm connected with. No naman, because as Gina said, when you're a consultant there, they respect you. They also listen. Not, I don't have to work extra hard to assert my stand. Well, of course, at the end of the day, you make suggestions, but at the
Yes.
end of the day, you have to defer to the final decision of management.
Because syempre kaya nga tayo consultants eh. They are
Uh,
consulting. We are not
uh,
managing. We're not,
yes,
we're not
yes,
really.
that's right.
Okay, so that we need to understand also our roles as consultants. So wag sasama loob natin pag hindi
Oo nga,
tayo sinunod yung ating mga
oo.
recommendations because
That's
that's
true.
as
That's true.
how far no our roles are when we are in the consultancy business.
Yes.
So for Suzanne, what about, let's say, for the women who want to become consultants? How do you start? Maybe you can tell them how do we want to motivate them to be consultants, and do something else, or when do they have to feel na ay tama na magko-consultant na ako, parang ganun.
Well, actually, there's really no secret formula to that. What I can say only on my part is, well, you're doing your job now. Maybe at this point in time, or where you're still young, do it with all your very best, no, so that you gain the expertise. Okay, and then as you go along, you become more experienced and seasoned in what you're doing, di ba? So that later on, when you want to move out, whether as a consultant or not as a full-time employee, you will have the edge already over the other candidates because you've done really a great job, an amazing job at that. And your experience will be your best weapon against, the others who are also aiming for that position. That's all I can say, because no hard and fast rule on how to become a consultant, but be the best in whatever you're doing. So you'll
Wow,
get the leverage when the time comes.
I like that kasi parang sinasabi natin wherever you are, whatever you're doing right now, na ngayon pa lang bibuild nyo na eh. Bibuild
Mm.
nyo na yung reputation ninyo para when the time comes that you do decide to become a consultant, meron na kayong, kumbaga, meron na kayong,
Bala.
oo,
Mhm.
may bala na
Bala ka
kayo,
na.
di ba? May bala ka na. Okay, what about you, Gina? How will you inspire people to, kasi nakakatakot, Gina, remember, some people would want to still be full-time employment, no? So now this is a business for you. Uh, how can you inspire people to try consultancy?
Change is good. We know that, Zarina. We Zarina and I worked in a company before where change is good. It's one of the mantras that we observe and we follow. And really, you could feel it in your bones. Tayo mga babae, di ba? We have that gut feel.
Mhm.
When, like for instance, when you already have earned a treasure trove of experiences in that particular field, and you no longer have that same excitement reporting to your work on a
Mhm.
daily basis, then maybe that's the time that you need to consider whether you are up for change already. But this is something that you will have to be all in out for, and it's something that you will have to be determined to pursue because it's not going to be easy.
Mhm.
As Zarina pointed out, you won't have anymore the luxury of a guaranteed monthly income. But if you are good at it, if you're good at networking and nurturing relationships, and you are uh, good at your consultancy work and really putting value, your reputation will precede you, and you will not run out of clients, and you will always have them in the pipeline. Sometimes you will have to say no simply because the values of that organization do not jive with
Match.
your.
Yeah.
It happened to me before. A client, I had to refuse a client simply because I don't believe in that organization. So it's an exciting world. It's not for everyone, that's for sure. But if you want challenges, more challenges, and new challenges to conquer, then maybe this is a time for you to consider consulting, especially if you've had 20 years of experience already in whatever role you've been doing. Because it could be tiring and it could be boring, and we have such a short life. Let's not make it shorter. Let's experience the world, and let's experience life in all its beauty and variety.
Okay. So, thank you for that, ladies. And ang dami nating natutunan ngayon, ano? A lot of learnings. And the reason, I think we're going to pursue those types of learnings in a conference that the three of us are participating in, right? This is the conference where my guests and myself are participating in. We are speakers for the Wow We Can Leadership Conference. What will our participants expect, Gina, on that conference?
Well, I would like to hark back to our first WOW conference 2 years ago. And we, the speakers ourselves, were very much surprised, happily surprised when we saw the energy in the room. We won't be face to face and we won't be physically beside each other this time, but a community of women always has a different feel to it because we know the struggles that we've been through, we know our problems, we know our strengths as well, we know our good points. And so it would be wonderful if you can join us because I promise you it's going to be not only fun, but it's going to be very meaningful for you. Invest in yourselves. We need to invest in ourselves. This pandemic crisis, what have you already done to improve yourself? If you haven't done anything, then maybe this is the time to start it. Do join us on March 27 at this Wow We Can leadership conference. It's not only for those with positions of leadership, it's for all women. Join us and let's be strong together.
Wow, thank you for that, Gina. Na-excite ako. Na-excite na ako sa March 27. Suzanne, what are we going to talk about?
For those of you who are already leaders, or for those of you who would like to be leaders, maybe you have some questions in mind, like how can I be a good leader? Or for those who are leaders, maybe the question that we would ask you is, what is your, where are you now in your leadership journey? No? So to be able to answer these questions, and to set things in motion so that, you can already start the journey towards becoming a leader or towards becoming a good leader. So join us on March 27. That's from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It would be good when you come to the realization that, it's not difficult naman pala to be a leader. All you have to do is set your heart and mind to it. And there, pretty soon you will realize that, wow, I can. Diba? Oh. So join us, ladies.
So that's the message from us to you, that wow, we can. You can, we can together. So unleash that women power, everybody. I'd like to thank my guests for this particular video. Maraming salamat. Gina from Australia, thank you for giving us your time. Maraming salamat, Gina, and I will see you at the conference.
The honor is mine, Zarina. Thank you to you. Thank you. And to your viewers also and subscribers, maraming salamat po for joining us this morning or this afternoon, whatever time you're watching this.
Suzanne, maraming salamat. I know you're very busy. I got an hour from you for today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you also, Charina. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
If you need advice, let me simplify. If he